What is going on, guys? It is Tony from Lone Wolf Paintball, and today I'm going to tell you what you need to play paintball.
What do I need? What do I need?
Oh, what do we need? What do we need? Well, we need paintball gear, obviously. We do have people asking this question all the time. What do you need? The basic gear, like the very bare minimum basics. Start off with a gun. Doesn't matter if you're using a rental at your local field. It doesn't matter if you've got a $300 gun, an $800 gun, a $1,500 gun. Doesn't matter. You're going to need something to shoot projectiles down the field, whether 50 caliber, 68 caliber, or a first strike round, depending on what your field allows. You're going to need a paintball marker to start off with. Obviously, you can have mechanical markers and you can have guns that are electronic. This one, that was a Rise. You got a Shocker Amp here. Those are both electronic, but most fields are rocking the mechanical stuff, things that are pretty much bulletproof that you can't break. Second off, you're going to need, Mark, are we going tanks? Are we going hoppers?
Or
are we going paintballs?
Go paintball.
I'm going to go paintballs. So guys, yeah, it's called paintball for a reason. You're going to need a gun that's going to shoot the paintballs down the field. So you're going to need some paintballs, whether you're playing on your own property or at your local field. They're probably a field paint only, or maybe bring your own paint. I don't know, but you're going to need some paintballs. Once again, whether it be 50 cal, 68 cal like these ones, or a first strike round. So you're going to need paintballs if you want to enjoy the sport of paintball. An air tank, that's going to be a very, very necessary item to have. So air tank. There's CO2 in high pressure air, or they call it nitrogen. Most people these days call it HPA. I don't even recommend CO2 anymore, kind of thing of the past. They freeze your gun up, not as consistent, the list goes on. These are high pressure air tanks. You can get them cheaper, you can get them more expensive, better regulators, whatever the case may be, you're going to need an air tank to propel the paintball out of the gun. It's gonna screw into the back there. And then this is what actually powers the gun to allow the paintball to go down the field. So that is going to be something you cannot play paintball without. It's going to be an air tank. Like I said, they come in different variety of sizes, colors, designs, cheaper regs, more expensive regs, all sorts of stuff. But that is going to be a necessity. Another thing, other than the gun, other than the tank, you're gonna need the hopper. So a hopper, what it does, it goes and sits on top of the gun. So this is where the paint is actually going to feed into the marker, whether it be a gravity fed, which that means there's no batteries involved, or whether it be something electronic like this, which I recommend. I mean, you can even get into an electronic hopper for around $70-ish or so, and sometimes even cheaper. But a hopper that holds the paintballs, feeds it into the gun, is going to be an absolute necessity. Mr. Mark, would you like to say anything else about the hoppers before we move on to something else?
No.
Gravity fed, electronic, those are two different versions. Some of the gravity feds have different shelves built in, so they feed a little bit better down into the gun. But other than that, you're talking you need paintballs, you need a tank, you need a hopper, you need a gun. Most important piece of the equipment though, right here, is going to be the mask that is going to protect your eyes and your face from being shot and hurt by a paintball if you happen to get shot in the head area. So a very nice goggle. Once again, all of your local fields or whoever's renting the equipment is going to have all of these necessary items available to you. The goggle is the number one most important part of any paintball equipment to keep you safe. Always recommending a dual pane thermal lens. I mean, a lot of fields out there actually will rent just, your very basic, so they can wash them, a single pane lens. That's a rental goggle. I always want to suggest getting yourself your own pair of goggles. Wearing someone else's sweat or used stuff is no fun. So get yourself a very nice pair of protective goggles that are super comfortable. And yeah, that would be it. But we're gonna move on to an honorable mention here. So you've got your basics, you've got your gun, your tank, your paint, your hopper, your mask. You got everything that you actually physically need to play paintball with. And we're gonna talk about a pod pack. So if you wanna go out there and just play hopper ball, that's fine. People do it all the time, especially renters or guys that are actually like trying to get better and only use a certain amount of shots. Or mag-fed players, they don't walk out there with many paintballs. You got a pod pack here, more high-end advanced tournament pack that can hold a ton of different pods, which if you don't know, that is a pod. It's going to hold extra paint that you can take with you out on the field. It's got a closing lid, so you load paint in there and you can actually take that accompanied with your pod pack out on the field and have to reload if you run out of paint. A lot of the basic stuff you will see out at the fields. This is just a standard, it's a 2-pod or a 2-pack pouch, most people call them. They hold 2 pods. So they hold 2 extra reloading containers out there. So if you fill up your hopper and you're out there shooting, having a great time, and you run out of paint, you can pull one of these pods out, reload your hopper, and you're back into the game. So like I said, you're gonna find most of these at your local fields that are renting them. I would highly suggest it, especially for the guys in front. You can turn those reloaders around and carry them to protect the boys down below. So obviously they're hard plastic pods. In case you happen to get shot in that region, you've got some protection down there, and they also serve the purpose of reloading the gun that you guys are using. Other than that, that's a basic overview of what you actually need to play. Yes, there's gloves and arm pads, knee pads, all that other stuff, but this is a very basic setup of what you need to play paintball.
And I would recommend if you're buying your own gear, because all this is rentable.
For sure.
Any field should have all this equipment for you to rent at a reasonable price. But if you're going to start buying, I would recommend go for a good mask first. That's going to last you the longest, and it's going to be the most beneficial in the long run, being the one guy on this team of rentals that isn't fogging and can actually see what you're doing.
Correct, yeah. Always make sure if you're getting a good mask, it's got the dual pane thermal lens. You're going to want that for anti-fogging. Obviously, all this stuff is available, lonewolfpaintball.com. Thanks for watching. Hit the notification, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys later.
See ya.